pins and get like major traffic. Can I use Tailwind for that?
You don't have to freak out. You might have heard that BoardBooster has closed. There's a better way. I'm going to show you how. But this way of scheduling your pins of Pinterest, you're going to be following the rules. So you don't need to worry about, is my tool going to go away? And is my account going to be deleted? And if you're in that boat where your account was terminated, or you feel like, oh my gosh, you're scrambling because you can't get the traffic that you were getting because your scheduler, your Pinterest scheduler is gone, I'm going to show you a better way. All right, so there's 4 things that you need to know. But before we get into those 4 things, I want to tell you that this is going to be the norm going forward. Last year, we saw this same thing happen with Instagram. The platforms are telling these tools that aren't working within their rules, and they're telling them, hey, you're not allowed to do this. And then when the tool, the app, the software, the whatever we're using to do the not so cool things on that platform, when that refuses, then they resort to legal measures. This year we saw it happen with Pinterest and BoardBooster, where Pinterest said, hey, you know what? This is not cool. We set up an API so that you can safely work with us and develop your software. And BoardBooster was like, nah, we're good. And so this continued on for like probably a couple years that Pinterest has been aware of BoardBooster, and BoardBooster has not been following the rules. And so what happened? Pinterest came out and said to BoardBooster, hey, you gotta fix this stuff. They also talked about it in their In the Making conference that was at the beginning of June this year. And they sent emails to Pinterest users and said, hey, we know you're using BoardBooster. You got to stop that. In fact, I have a link here to a blog post where you can get more information all about what went down. And I have copies of the emails and everything for you to read so that you can get more information. Now, why does any of this matter? Isn't this all just a bunch of drama? No, because this is a sign of the new way that platforms are going to be working with software and the expectations that they have of their users, that's us, and the tools that we use to help manage our accounts on those platforms. We've seen it with Instagram and we've seen it with Pinterest, and this is going to be the norm going forward. Now, why is that? Well, these platforms are trying to protect the user experience. If people have a bad experience, they're not going to come back to the platform. So they want to make sure that there's less spam, that they have community guidelines that they've put forward to help keep everyone safe, help keep everyone having a good experience, to talk about ways that you can use the platform to make money and not make money, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so they want to make sure that the people who are making tools that work with their platform are following these rules so that at the end of the day, everyone has a good customer experience or a good experience on that platform. So knowing this going forward, you got to use the tools that are approved by the platform. Every single platform has a list of partners, and these are companies who have said, hey, we're going to develop software or an app or some kind of tool that can work with your platform, and we're going to do it following your rules. And so they have a two-way conversation where they make sure that everything that the tool is doing is compliant, and the tool is making sure that everything that they're doing is something that the platform wants. And so the people who develop the apps, the tools, et cetera, they're trying to figure out, okay, our users say they want to do XYZ. How can we do that within the rules of the platform? So now that we know that this is the way things are going forward, what do? The first thing you got to do if you are using a tool that is not an approved partner for the platform that you're using it for. So in this example that I'm talking about, if you're using BoardBooster for Pinterest, you got to change your password right away. A lot of times the tools that are not accessing the platform in the proper API approved way are using your password to log in. And that's actually against the terms of service of a lot of the platforms. And specifically on Pinterest, it's against the terms of service to give your password to someone else. So change your password first and foremost. The next step is to get a Pinterest approved partner tool to manage your Pinterest account. So that's scheduling your pins, looking at performance, checking out analytics, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Where do you find those? So there is a list of Pinterest approved partners on a full page on Pinterest. You can get that link over in the description. There's a link to a blog post where I detail all of these steps, and you can see the full list there. Now, which partners do I recommend? So I'm going to recommend to you that you get Tailwind, and that's because with Tailwind, we can do a lot of this stuff that you could do with BoardBooster, but in an approved, safe way. So I'm going to talk to you more about how to do all that. But get Tailwind. Just sign up for Tailwind. That's what you got. Step 3 is change your behavior. So when you're changing your behavior on the platform, you're going to want to do it gradually. And that's because you need to send signals to the platform that, hey, I'm not using this tool anymore and I'm not doing spammy stuff. If you're coming off of using a non-approved tool to access the platform, then you need to ease into changing your strategy. So don't just log in and whole hog, post a bunch of stuff all crazy, because that's going to send off red flags. Because as soon as you change your behavior very drastically, the platform notices, and that sets off some alarm bells for, hey, this might be spam, this might be hacked, and we don't want to do that. So make gradual changes. Don't be super aggressive and just say, well, I was pinning 100 times a day. I'm going to go back to pinning 100 times a day on Pinterest because I was doing that with BoardBooster. Gradually change your strategy and start using the new tool that you have signed up with. Now, tip number 4 is use Tailwind tools or Pinterest approved partners tools to get similar results, but in an approved, safe, terms of service compliant way. Now, how do you do that? Down in the description of this video is a link to a blog post where I have lots of resources. I've got videos and articles and all kinds of cool things that will help you with replicating some of the types of strategies you might have been using with BoardBooster, but in an approved way with an approved Pinterest partner tool. Sounds awesome, right? And guess what? It's free. So you got to go check it out in the description link. It might be over here or over there. I don't know. It depends on what device you're watching this on. But get on over there and get your Pinterest account straightened out. Now, do you have other blogger friends who are freaking out about BoardBooster closing? Share this video with them and tag them down in the comments so that they can see this strategy too. It's going to be okay, you guys. We got Tailwind.